With the big story here, I'm Seher Zaman. We are keeping the focus on a mega Mirror Now expose that is being done by a team. This is with respect to abortion pills that are only supposed to be sold as a prescription drug, not without a doctor's prescription. But our team has visited multiple pharmacists, chemists across Bengaluru. This includes Brigade Road, Ulsoor, Indiranagar, Guttahalli Road there as well. Our findings here being that abortion pills are being rampantly sold off the counter. One, this is illegal, and second, that they're being sold without a prescription with no check. When Mirror Now did a reality check across 4 locations, we found pharmacists selling them off the counter openly. There's a special report that is coming from our correspondent Sreeja. The first report here, that is from Brigade Road. This is in the heart of Bengaluru. The pharmacist, after making some very basic inquiries, openly selling this drug off the counter.
Okay, I'm just looking for a abortion-inducing tablet.
How many days it's been? How many days it's been?
It's been 1 month, 15 days.
Just
1 month, 15 days.
ये अभी लेना, ये अभी लेना और कल कुछ नहीं, कल गैप है और परसों एक दिन छोड़ के एक दिन सेम टाइम में लेना, सेम टाइम में लेना, ये आज
All the 3 together?
नहीं ला सकते,
Day after tomorrow.
day after tomorrow,
I should take now? Abortion-inducing tablet.
Abortion means what the duration is your cycle date?
I have 1 month, 10 days.
40 days.
No, 40 days.
No, due date is when you tell me.
It is supposed to be on the 1st. On the 1st.
First of this month.
Yes. I've already missed it.
No, first of this month. No,
Yes.
today is only 3rd, so only 2 days. No,
No, I'm saying I'm already 1 month.
last month first.
Yeah.
From last month first was the due date.
Yeah,
This month first 1 month over.
Yeah.
1 month plus 2 days.
Yeah.
Very long, no? Why didn't try before only?
No, because it has never happened to me before. It's the first time. So I just thought maybe it's normal.
You're going to. Okay. 40 days means I don't know they affect you or not. I'll give you try. Have your luck. That's all I can say. Tomorrow you have to take one.
Tomorrow, is it?
Today is what? Tomorrow is take morning one. The day after tomorrow morning to night 2.
So for 3 days.
2 days. Today is forget. It's almost over.
So
tomorrow morning have this.
Yeah.
This tablet. Then the day after tomorrow it is Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday morning have 2 in the morning.
Okay.
This 2 in the night.
Okay.
Got it?
Got it. For 2 days then.
Tomorrow. And Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday we have the tablet. Friday, Saturday or before Sunday at the most this should have the effect.
So any side effects?
No. Only once you take it there is no side effects. It doesn't happen in this, you have to see a gynecologist doctor or whatever it is, you are the doctor.
Let's get in more details from our correspondent Sreeja, who's getting us these inputs. This was a special report with investigations having been done with the use of a spy cam. Sreeja, it's not just easily available. There are also suggestions by chemists being made as if they're doctors themselves in recommending and telling you how to take what, not just one single pill, but the entire kit.
That's right, Seher. In fact, not just selling these abortion pills right at the counter without a prescription, because remember, we're talking about the abortion kit. The entire kit itself can be taken up to 7 to 9 weeks of gestation. But remember, these pills are especially categorized under Schedule H category, which means these pills can only be sold with a prescription. But unfortunately, we saw the story turn otherwise, because remember, we visited at least 4 to 5 pharmacists, everyone, all the pharmacists were ready to issue the tablets without a prescription. And of course, they just simply gave it to me. And only when I asked them a couple of questions, that's when we see more and more suggestions coming as to how really you should consume this particular pill. At one pharmacy, if we understand that one pharmacist clearly told me that I'm supposed to consume the entire kit. This one kit has about 5 tablets. There was another pharmacist who told me to consume about 4 tablets. So clearly we see that there is no such regulation at this point in time. And also remember, just this morning we caught up with the Deputy Chief Minister and also the Minister for Medical Education, Ashwath Narayan. He did admit on the camera by saying that yes, we see there is an increase especially on Schedule H tablets, including abortion pills, which are being just sold right at the counter. And we will bring in stringent regulations to ensure that pharmacists do not go forward, because remember, these are the very pharmacists who have been issued licenses, because remember, Seher, especially Schedule H tablets are given to pharmacists only to those who have licenses. Now, if they are going overboard and violating and breaching such norms, we understand licenses can also be cancelled.
Absolutely. Well, Sreeja, stay on with us. We're going to further touch upon what you just mentioned when you spoke with the Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister. This is in fact breaking inputs here. Having spoken to Ashwath Narayan there, assuring that the government will look into the issue and take action. As you also stated, he has admitted that this is an issue which needs monitoring. Let's take a listen into that.
We need to examine the present challenges and the impact of the availability of the abortion pill, which is available across the counter. We'll definitely look into the impact and we'll take the necessary action.
Okay.
So that in the interest of the society and the people.
Okay. So we have seen increasingly of late that especially teen pregnancies, several of the clinics have reported that incomplete abortions have happened only because of this medicine which is freely available. We did purchase at least 4 to 5 of the tablets. This is without prescription. Can you tell us how is the government going to regulate this?
Already it prohibits from them dispensing any kind of these pills without any prescription.
Right.
We need to monitor more strongly, and we need to create a lot of awareness among the people also. See, the most important thing is the awareness. Awareness has to be created. Along with that, we need to make them more accountable. Yeah, we can't do policing everywhere, because what happens, how much policing you do, you can't reach out and keep your eye on them. So we need to make them more accountable. That's more important.
Sreeja, this is a shocking response that's come in from the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, saying that policing cannot be done everywhere. It is at the end of the day a question of spreading awareness. He's admitting that he's aware of how this is sold off the counter without a license, without prescription, but he's being rather nonchalant about it.
Well, that's right, Seher, because remember, we're talking about abortion pills which are easily available at the medical shops, because really nobody is understanding the complications. It can also be fatal. Remember, we're talking about such Schedule H tablets which are being sold by the chemists without prescription. And on the other hand, you actually have the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka and also the Minister for Medical Education, Ashwath Narayan, admitting on the camera by saying that, yes, we have come across several cases where Schedule H tablets, including the abortion pills which are being sold over the counters. At the same time, you have him admitting, saying that we cannot go around policing. And of course, he also admits by saying that, yes, we will bring in stringent measures. But clearly, we do not see, when you have a minister himself saying, telling us that we cannot go around policing, then how else will you ensure, especially in a state like Karnataka, that such tablets are not sold without prescription?
That's right. Stay on with us, Sreeja. Let's throw this open to our panelists. We have experts with us. We have Dr. Nikhil Datar, who's the senior gynecologist and health rights activist. We have Mr. Abhishek Mishra, leader of the BJP. This is, of course, with respect to central government policies here. First to you, Dr. Datar, does this come in as a shock to you? This, of course, is a menace as far as selling medicines and drugs off the counter without prescription, but it is also regarding abortion pills. And several doctors have stated now that this could risk the lives of young women if it is sold off the counter without a prescription, without any guidance.
Well, I completely agree with the fact that these kinds of medicines are Schedule H drugs, and they can potentially be extremely harmful if they are not correctly used. Now, we have to understand that these medicines are supposed to be prescribed for an abortion, provided that the pregnancy is within a stipulated time frame. If at all the pregnancy is not within the stipulated time frame, and if these medicines are used, then there is a very high likely possibility that women would bleed torrentially and may have a life-threatening complication, and probably a permanent damage could occur to their system. So selling such kinds of drugs without a proper judicial mechanism where a doctor is applying his mind correctly and then prescribing the medicine is extremely dangerous, and such kinds of people, actually speaking, should be punished very, very severely for doing this.
Mr. Abhishek Mishra, please respond to that. We have a reaction from the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka. This is from the concerned state where pharmacists have been spoken with. But this is a pan-India issue. This is with respect to the central government's responsibility here in assuring non-prescribed drugs should not be sold off the shelf. This is a central government policy.
You have to understand two things here. The Modi government has been very clear that health of citizens of India is the priority for us. The Ayushman Bharat Yojana is the global example that out of the common and the poorest of the poor, we have given healthcare facilities of the highest and the best available. Now, coming to this particular issue of illegal sale of abortion pills, as the Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister himself said, that the issue has been monitored. Definitely, it requires strict vigilance. That I would like to add a word here, that strict vigilance is required, wherein that a monitoring system should be there of the FDA, wherein if anybody does such practices, and harsh, as per the law, harsh action should be done upon them. So what exactly is required is, as the minister rightly said, Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, that awareness has to be created. The citizens themselves must also realize that these are how harmful to the patients themselves. The patient consuming, if I can understand some must be illiterate, but at least we can try the literate population, that they must be made to understand is harmful for them. Secondly, on the pharmacies, there must be a very strict vigilance, wherein if they are caught, when told your license will be snatched away and you can never again sell medicine. So awareness, right, as the minister said, and vigilance, I think both awareness and vigilance is the solution to this issue.
Dr. Datar, please respond, because if there are central government policies existing, it is at the end of the day the responsibility of each state government to keep that check, to keep that vigil. Do you feel that changes that were made to the MTP Act, which is the Medical Termination Pregnancy Act, the amendment to which that came in 2014 but still hasn't been confirmed and passed in both houses here, do you think that could have an impact on ground?
Well, honestly speaking, it has got nothing to do with 2014 amendment. In fact, from 1971, the existing law, the age-old 45 years old law, has prescribed as to which doctors are allowed to perform the medical termination of pregnancy. Now here we are talking of a pharmacist who is practically not even an MBBS doctor. So he's a quack, actually speaking, in terms of the MTP Act, because he is not a doctor registered under the MTP Act. Now, any person who technically does not fulfill the qualifications as written by the MTP Act, if at all is performing the termination of pregnancy or performing an abortion, it does not matter whether it is a surgery or whether it is by giving medicines. Ultimately, he is performing an abortion. So a quack who is doing this kind of a thing has to be penalized under section 312 of Indian Penal Code, whereby he should be imprisoned for at least 2 years to 7 years. That is what is the prescribed punishment that is written in an age-old law, 45 years old law. Now, in spite of that law being there for 45 years in our country, if we are still not able to actually fulfill the legal requirements, and after 45 years, if we say that, oh, we are not still able to have the required vigilance, then I think it's a complete failure on the part of all governments. I'm not only talking of one government, only central or only state, but for last 45 years, everybody has failed actually to bring this kind of a sense of seriousness on this particular issue, which is so vital to women's health.
That's right. Abhishek Mishra, you say that it becomes then a state government's responsibility.
So
there are
really
already
required.
Existing guidelines that has been issued from the central government, has been existing. Keeping a check then becomes a responsibility of the state government.
I did not say, no, do not tell, do not speak falsehood. I did not even say that it is a responsibility of state government. I didn't say that. I said very clearly two methods. One is vigilance, strict vigilance on all pharmacists. Where if they are found doing this, strict action as your other panelists said. Secondly, awareness among the literate population at least. If not the illiterate, the literate population, the patients must be made to understand it harms their own health. So I said vigilance with awareness. I did not say state government or something. Don't say this. I did not expect that a senior.
All right. So Abhishek, what action should be taken here? Because we had taken this. We had taken this very report here. We had taken Abhishek. We got your point. We got your point. We had taken this very report, our correspondent there, to the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka. He has not assured any action against those chemists who've been caught. Instead, he said that, yes, this is a problem. He's admitted to this problem, saying that he's aware that this exists, but people need to be careful here in this as well. Why is there no government voice here saying that there has to be zero tolerance, strict action against these chemists? How are they selling these drugs off the counter?
Yeah, he has said that. In fact, you did not hear his entire comment. He clearly said that there is already a law in place to punish these people, these pharmacists. It's an illegal practice. That's what I'm saying. Strict vigilance should be ensured across governments, across the board, that not a single pharmacist is able to sell.
No, but there is a law. There is a law, but there's no action.
I am also saying a strict vigilance has to be done. And
no,
also,
let me get that clarity from our correspondent. What he said. This is for you to understand,
law in
Abhishek.
place and vigilance.
Listen into our correspondent Sreeja. Abhishek, please. Sreeja, you had a word with the Deputy Chief Minister there. Did he at any point given an assurance that give us this information of what you found through our reportage here, that action would be taken against these chemists? Did he show that interest in getting that list in hand to take action?
Well, Seher, for her first question, Ashwat Narayan did talk about, he admitted by saying that, yes, there are especially pharmacies selling the Schedule H and also abortion, because remember, he just did not only specify abortion pills, but he did admit saying that there are several other tablets which are categorized under Schedule H and abortion pills which are sold over the counter. One. Secondly, he did say, when I did question, in fact, twice or thrice about what are you going to do about it? Is the government going to regulate? Are they going to bring in stringent measures? He only said that, yes, we will monitor, but he did question by saying that how are we going to police around?
All right, so there needs to be a body that needs to monitor this. But Sreeja, with respect to your findings here, this is the absolute top authority of the state that you've spoken to. Did they not given an assurance that this would be checked upon?
Well, no, not at all. Because remember, I did specify very clearly by saying that, yes, we did carry out a reality check. And in the reality check, we found out how all the pharmacists were just giving out the abortion pills without a prescription. And he just admitted, especially the Chief Minister, Deputy Chief Minister of the state, he admitted on camera by saying that, yes, this has been happening. He just admitted saying that, yes, it has been happening, but we will monitor. And he clearly did not have have an answer as to how, but he only asked a question to us saying that how can we go around policing? Now, well, that is not a question which needs to be asked to the citizens or to the media, but it is for the government themselves to figure out and also to regulate such malpractices which has been happening right here in the state.
That's right. Mr. Abhishek, I hope you've heard that. There is no assurance there even from the Deputy Chief Minister here, despite these findings, despite these very specific names. Dr. Datar, if you could respond to this. If this is the kind of reaction that we get from the Deputy Chief Minister of the concerned state, where this reportage has been done, what confidence would it instill in the people here that if they're going to buy these abortion pills, the abortion kits off the counter, it is as much the chemist's responsibility to ask for a prescription and not instead act as doctor, I beg your pardon, to suggest how to take this medication?
Well, first of all, I would categorically like to bring to your notice that we do not require any different body, or we do not need to create any separate policing mechanism. The drug inspectors under the FDA, the Food and Drug Act, the Drug and Cosmetic Act of this country, under which practically speaking every pharmacist is supposed to be visited by the inspectors, especially as regards the Schedule H drugs are concerned. Yes. These chemists are expected to keep those kinds of paper records that are going to be there. So we do not require to create a separate cadre, put extra money, nothing is required. We just need to pull up the right people at the right point of time. The government inspectors need to do their job, and the corruption has to go down. They should be asked to provide these kinds of specific prescriptions when they are trying to show their sale of these products like abortion kits, etc., etc. And automatically the things can be regulated without asking for doing anything new. So if any politician is trying to say that we'll require to create some different and new mechanism, then it means that they are trying to say that, okay, this is all postponed for a few more years because we will have to start creating some new mechanism for this. But that's completely untrue. Actually speaking, you require nothing new to be done.
Datar,
the existing mechanism and machinery is
a mechanism in place.
Perfect,
it is for the FDA inspector's job to be doing this. Mr. Abhishek Mishra, please respond to that. This is an existing system in place which is not working on ground. And then you have the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, which is of the state BJP government here. No, you may be saying the same thing, Mr. Abhishek Mishra, but what is the government doing then?
I've been saying
we are literally bringing out the names to him.
Debate that vigilance of the FDA, that is what I'm saying. I've been saying what the panelist is saying. That there's already a law in place. Vigilance has to be very strict. The FDA department has to go to every pharmacy and ensure and always keep a strict 24-hour vigil. And if a single pharmacist is found to be guilty, strict punishment, strip his license. Already law is in place. The vigilance of the FDA has to be very strong. As with regards to the Deputy CM of Karnataka, what you're basically trying to say is that awareness has to be created. And I also agree on that point, along with vigilance. And awareness wherein the literate population at least is made to be aware that if they consume this
awareness can be created, but at least take immediate action. There should be some urgency shown by the Karnataka government which hasn't been shown. It's not a question of creating awareness, it's not a question of getting a body in place to do that inspection. All that is already existing, but it's not working.
No body is required.
Karnataka state government should keep a check on why the FDA inspectors are not doing their work on ground. There has to be some action from the state government.
Yes, you are right. The FDA will immediately
We didn't get that assurance.
Yes,
no. We didn't get that assurance from the Deputy Chief Minister that they're taking action. All they said is it's a question of people's awareness. There was no assurance from the Karnataka government here on this. In fact, let's get in a third voice here on this as well. Dr. Narendra Rangappa, who is of the State Executive Committee member of the BJP in Karnataka. Dr. Rangappa, thank you for being with us. We would like some shock and some assurance from the state government that they are appalled that this is happening. One, they're not appalled. They're admitting that, yes, this is happening. Secondly, they're blaming it on the people, saying that people, there needs to be people's awareness to not buy these drugs off the shelf. What about keeping a check on the chemists? What about taking action against those pharmacists that have been found selling these drugs?
Definitely, it is a big issue facing the pharmacy fraternity and the medical fraternity today. that the scheduled drugs are sold without prescriptions also, and it is very unfortunate till today we don't have a very clear OTC formulations. So, of course, it is very urgent that we should sort this out as soon as possible, because the central amalgamation has to be done through the parliament to create a new bill. It can't be done by the state government either.
Mr. Rangappa, we have the names. As part of our special reportage, we have the names of those chemists, we have the names of those shops, of those areas who are selling these abortion medicines and kits without prescriptions. Will you take action against them? Will you further investigate this, at least with the names that are available?
Definitely, as a doctor, I am very much concerned about it, so that the general population is not harmed by this practice of over-the-counter distribution of abortion pills. And I am for the very strictest action to be taken against them. If you can provide me the list, I will take it up with our concerned ministry, and we'll see that their license are terminated immediately.
Dr. Rangappa, appreciate the assurance here that's coming from you, because we didn't get that from the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka. You have on record here assured wanting that list of names here would be taken up with the concerned ministry. Many thanks to our panelists and our correspondent Sreeja for getting us those exclusive details. Remember, these are not ordinary painkiller medicines which can do no harm in the long run. These are medicines which can put your health at immediate risk. It can stop your ability from conceiving in future as well. It can cause cancer as well if it is taken at a wrong time, without prescription and without the suggested hours here. There needs to be stricter action. The Karnataka government needs to show more shock in these findings. Thanks for being with us.